Picture yourself in this scenario. You're sitting comfortably on your sofa while you're browsing the pages of a magazine in your dimly lit room. Then, all of a sudden, you notice a movement across the room from the corner of your eye. The figure was dark and shadow-like, but you know that can't be possible since you're the only one there. Naturally, you gave it a second look and saw there really was nothing there. So you shrug off the eerie feeling swirling inside your stomach and return to reading your magazine. But a few moments later, there it was again. This time you quickly look up and see it was a shadow shaped like a human pass over the wall. And once again, it disappeared without a trace. So what was that? Was that just some natural shadow from the dim lighting in your room? Or was that just a figment of your imagination? Or a ghost? Or is it possible that it's an otherworldly being lurking in the shadows that seems to be part of a spreading phenomenon of apparitions known as the shadow people? So what are the shadow people? The so-called shadow people are perceived entities that appear as patches of shadows shaped as living humanoid figures, which are usually interpreted by believers in the paranormal or supernatural as the presence of spirits or some otherworldly entities. Tales of these human-like shadows come from different parts of the world. Most of these shadow creatures appear through our peripheral vision, and people who see them are often unable to describe in detail the features of these mystical entities apart from their human-like forms and the occasional reports of fiery red eyes. Some shadow people materialize wearing the clothing of a medieval monk, while some emerge with a fedora on their heads. There's also reports of bald as well as genderless shadow entities. Though it was generally believed that people could only see brief glimpses of these bizarre creatures, more and more people are claiming to see them straight on and for longer periods of time. Some of them just trek through the rooms of our homes at night, while others lurk in the doorways just watching us, day after day. However, some give off very menacing vibes and reek of malevolent intent that seems to feed on people's fear. The term shadow people is a general name for all kinds of strange beings that display certain similar characteristics, though their origins can be varied and the behavior they exhibit can be very diverse as well. Moreover, the majority of these unusual entities can be classified into 5 categories. Number 1, positive shadows. Number 2, negative shadows. Number 3, red-eyed shadows. Number 4, hooded shadows. And number 5, the shadow entity known as the Hat Man. The positive shadows are those that seem to pass by through people's lives. They appear to walk with purpose through the room, never straying the path they walk on, and never acknowledging the person nearby. They never give off a threatening presence, but it could be very eerie to see them trespassing in your home without regard to those who live there. The negative shadows are characterized by their tendency to just lurk and watch humans go about their business. However, unlike the positive shadow people, human beings inside a room with a lurking negative shadow tend to be swept over by the feeling of extreme terror when they spot them. A more negative version of these entities are the red-eyed shadows, which are known to stare at humans with their blazing red eyes. Eyewitnesses claim that they feel that this shadowed figure feeds on their fear. So again, there are also hooded shadows dressed as an ancient monk. Some people claim that this is also a malevolent entity, as eyewitnesses sense a deep rage emanating from this hooded figure. There is also a shadow creature known as the Hat Man. This entity is probably the most curious one of them all. The Hat Man appears to many people in various cultures around the world, and he's seen dressed in an old-time business suit and wearing a fedora. Maybe he has some unfinished business to take care of? The mysterious sightings of the shadow people have become a hot topic of conversation in the online world for years. Those who have seen these dark figures and believe in them wonder what these creatures really are and where they come from. To come up with suitable answers to these questions, a number of theories have been offered by believers, paranormal experts, skeptics, and mainstream science alike. Although most reported encounters with the shadow people are very passive, there are some that are not so innocent. Negative shadows, red-eyed shadows, and hooded shadows, for example, all give off uncomfortable sensations of horror and terror when chanced upon by human beings. From a religious standpoint, these creatures are referred to in several scriptures and cultures by different names. In the Christian faith, they're called demons. In the Islamic faith, they're called jinn. And in the Native American culture, they're called sigili. Some believe the shadow people could be some form of ghosts or some manifestation of a residual memory of an individual whose bit of energy lingered in the mortal world even after that person's spirit already crossed over to the other side. There are also proposals that the shadow people are the embodiments of actual people whose physical bodies are elsewhere but are engaged in astral projection. Another paranormal explanation for these dark entities is that they are interdimensional beings. Some strongly support this theory because theoretical physicists believe the laws of physics allow for other dimensions to exist and for beings to cross over. Along the same lines, there are also those who suspect extraterrestrials or aliens to be the shadow people who go about their daily agenda on our planet disguised in the shadows. Mainstream science and skeptics reject these paranormal or supernormal theories because they currently cannot detect or test such phenomena. Maybe the answer lies beyond science. One of the simplest explanations for the mysterious phenomenon of the shadow people, which is usually brought up by those who have never seen these for themselves, is that it's caused by nothing more than one's imagination. Some people who have encountered a shadow person easily account the experience as nothing more than their minds playing tricks on them, and could simply be an illusion that was never really there. Probably many of these claimed encounters can be explained by people's imaginations running wild, since the human eye and mind can easily be fooled.
Now, most reported encounters of these shadow people can be explained by modern science, particularly by the workings of the human brain. Some of the details shared by people when they encounter a shadowy entity are analogous to those that occur in the cases of sleep paralysis. Many eyewitnesses claim that their experiences involving the shadow people occur just when they're about to fall asleep or right after they wake up from sleep. And they report sensations of being held down, a tightness gripping their chest as if there was a person lying on top of them, and difficulty breathing. And these unpleasant feelings only go away when the shadow disappears. Now, physiologically, these sensations could be explained by conditions known as hypnagogic and or hypnopompic paralysis. The hypnagogic and hypnopompic states are states of consciousness that occur between the normal awake state and sleep. Hypnagogic state occurs just before a person falls asleep, while hypnopompic state occurs just before waking up. The human body naturally goes through a state of paralysis once a person enters the REM stage of sleep, and this serves as a deterrent from us possibly physically acting out our dreams in the real world. This temporary sleep paralysis can happen when this mechanism triggers sooner than usual, or when it persists longer than usual after you woke up. This causes you to be completely aware of your surroundings and yet still unable to flex a single inch of your body. Now, this might be scary. Who wouldn't be scared of waking up all of a sudden paralyzed? When you're in this state, you can also perceive the images formed in your subconscious mind consciously, even though you're already awake. These hallucinations may seem like they're real since they can be detected by some, if not all, of a person's sensory perceptions. People can even experience auditory, smell, tactile, taste, and even other visual phenomena while in the state of hypnagogia or hypnopompia. Sufferers of this neurological phenomena have also reported seeing faces while experiencing these states. So these may just be hallucinations from your subconscious mind that you had while you're dreaming, and you wake up in this paralyzed state and just see these images floating in your mind. But science says these may just be residual images of your unconscious mind. But what if you saw a shadow creature when you're not about to go to sleep or when you didn't just wake up? In many cases, people say they saw these beings out of the corner of their eye from their peripheral vision. And this area of the human vision has been determined to be connected with the area of the brain whose main function is to detect and identify familiar patterns. However, this area also provides fewer and more crude or inaccurate details to the brain than people's forward or central vision does. So while this mechanism is very helpful for our day-to-day functions, like seeing a ninja sneak up on you, there are also instances that it could result in a psychological phenomena referred to as pareidolia. Pareidolia is a type of illusion or a misperception in which the brain inaccurately makes something up out of patterns of shadows and light when, in reality, these patterns are completely random and only contain a few features that may seem to look like something you recognize, like figures or faces of animals or people. So your imagination may just be building these random patterns into some kind of creepy shadow. And aside from explaining the detection of the shadow people, this phenomena also provides a psychological explanation for many other paranormal apparitions and visions like UFOs or Bigfoot sightings. This could also explain why some people see the face of Jesus in a piece of toast, or bunny rabbits in the clouds, or a face on Mars. People may just be seeing what they expect to see. Now, there's no way to prove or disprove any of the more mysterious and paranormal explanations for seeing the shadow people, especially since science currently finds it virtually impossible to collect measurable data and tangible proof to study such phenomena in an empirically sound and methodical way. So whether believer or skeptic, you can document as many anecdotal accounts and personal experience of these mysterious entities and try to piece them together in the most objective and open-minded way until the time comes that science discovers or develops a tool we need to finally confirm or reject the existence of the shadow people. What can be said for sure is this: while encountering a shadow entity can be weird and scary for some people, it's also a valuable experience for yourself to learn about other possible supernormal activities or to learn more about yourself. In any case, keep an open mind and keep learning.